We didn't rehearse that. You didn't tell me you were gonna throw that something like that. How are you gonna throw me under the bus like that, F-Thought?
All right, let's try it again. Alongside.
Okay, Turtle. There we go. The Flannel Bros. The Flannel Bros have arrived.
There it is. Flannel Friday. We're chilling.
Okay.
I'm excited. Why are we here?
You're looking real cute today. That's why we're here. But also because the grid is happening now, F-Thought. Everything has changed in Rocket League Esports, and it is the best change we could have asked for.
It really is. It really is. So here's what happened. We used to have the Pro League, the RLCS, and then the minor league right beneath it, the rival series. And you'd have some cool like storylines of relegation, but those were your teams. That's kind of all your teams, right? So they opened up the entire RLCS, and then that's what we watch on the weekends. But here we do the grid, and that's where we get that return to that sort of league play, where it's just a couple of teams, and they're going to duke it out over the course of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really good practice as well, though, because like you said, it is a bit more closed off. So these teams, even though it is closed off, there's still a lot of rival potential and teams that came, from the rival series all the way into the grid. Now it's been opened up a little bit more for North America and Europe. There's a lot more teams involved, and that's why we have different groups and everything. And whenever you get down to the details, F-Dot, it gets a little bit crazy. But the most important thing you need to know is that we're here for Alpine Esports.
Exactly. This is going to be your home for everything green here inside the league. And the way it works out is all of the teams have their own spots to watch their own games. Now, obviously, this is the best place to be because this is where we're going to climb. So it's going to be a lot of fun kind of watching these ones come out here. But let's take a look at the whole group. So when it comes down to it, in the grid, like we said, this is a series of 16 teams. We split off into 4 different groups. But it's basically double elimination bracket, and that's the important part.
Right.
Teams like NRG, United, what teams stick out here to you?
Oh, definitely you got to look at NRG. I mean, those guys are the scariest team in North America. I think that everybody else so far in our group, we definitely have the edge over. But I think when it comes down to NRG, that is going to be a tough matchup, regardless of whatever team, just because of that new pickup Squishy. But either way, our first matchup is going to be against Omelette, which I think is probably going to be, out of all these groups, the best matchup because it's between 2 up-and-coming teams, Omelette and ourselves, Alpine Esports.
Yeah, like you said, Energy's kind of the big dogs coming through, big changes, and Sonic's no hate to them, but that's going to be an uphill battle for what these guys are going to be able to bring to the table. Looking at what we're doing down here in Alpine world, I mean, Omelette, it's going to be tough. Luke, Freshness, LionBlaze, and Spoodah behind the team, and that's probably a really big point for me, honestly, but this Alpine squad, first of all, we're a little biased because this is Alpine home, but this is also my rival series squad. Like this is, I loved watching this team last year.
Well, I mean, these guys dominated in Season 9 Rival Series. I mean, this is the team that you want to keep your eyes on, specifically because we've got my boy Majicbear. I like him just because of the ones. I personally gravitate towards ones players. I don't know what it is. I've been playing ones a lot recently, so it's something about that play style that I really enjoy because you get to see how they convert it into threes. And speaking of ones, on the other side, Omelette, they've got LionBlaze. I think that those two players, Majicbear and LionBlaze, the 50s, the ones play style is going to be so important to whoever gets this dub because in reality, if you're a ones player and you go into threes, you're just focusing on 50s and keeping that ball grounded. So I think it's going to be an even match between those two on who can keep possession in the midfield.
Yeah, I really like the way that Percy and Jordan kind of play around Majicbear. Simply put, I mean, they just let him be the man. They feed the hot hand. They allow Majicbear to go in and go out. But when Majicbear doesn't perform, because let's be real, that happens to even the best players, right? Jordan and Percy know when to step up. So they're capable of kind of doing that, which is why this team is a lot of fun. But you come in here, you sit down, and you expect Majicbear to kind of put the ball in the net. And I think having a clear game plan really allows this team to be successful.
Definitely. I mean, and these guys are prodigies. A lot of people don't even really know too much about Alpine Esports, but all 3 players, the oldest here is Jordan, 18 years old. Then we got in second place, Percy, 16, and Majicbear, the MVP we talk about, he's only 15. So these guys, all 3 of them, so much potential, F-Dot.
Yeah, it's going to be mad fun kind of watching these guys come in and see what they do to Omelette here across the way. You know, we kind of identified how we expect Majicbear and Alpine to play. What are you going to say here about Omelette and how they're going to attack?
Omelette, I am also a relatively big fan of just because I like Luke on the pitch. I think that he's usually the most forward position player, excuse me, and he normally gets these crazy touches all the way upfield that'll completely throw off the defense. So I think that if you're Alpine, you need to focus on solidifying that defensive stance and making sure you can build a wall back there, because if you don't get in front of Luke and those crazy touches, that is when they start to break you down. So I think you need to prioritize, if you're Alpine Esports, if you're here, if you're at home, you need to make sure you get in front of Luke and stop him from being annoying.
It's going to be tough. I mean, uphill battle is what I said before, but I expect this to be a little bit even as well. Sort of like you were saying, these teams both on the come up here.
Yeah.
Where do you think their respective kind of approaches work, right? Like when we look at, what I mean by that is I think Omelette plays fast. Alpine doesn't really come out with that type of speed usually. So do you think it's going to be the fast team that winds up taking advantage, or can Alpine kind of slow it down to their style?
I definitely think that it's going to be a little bit more of a slower play style. I think that a lot of what Omelette does is they'll take it really slow in the defensive area, but then explode once they get that clear.
Yeah, and then just like kind of keep it on the opponent's side of the field is kind of what it was like watching them last year. So hopefully that's kind of where they approach, and Alpine can kind of take advantage of that for real. But gonna be an interesting matchup to watch for sure. Because again, these guys are coming in like maybe this is their second year in real competitive Rocket League. As you kind of sit through and you watch these newer players kind of step onto the field, not quite rookies, but just forging their path here. How in general do you really see these players kind of like stand up? All right, you've been around for a long time. How do these rookies kind of come in and solidify themselves into the scene?
Oh man, I think that first of all, they've been doing a great job of solidifying themselves alone, because both of these teams, Omelette and Alpine, have made huge stances, excuse me, in a lot of tournaments. We've had the Summer Shuffle, and that's where Omelette completely destroyed almost everybody, made it to the finals, played against NRG. And then in the ESPN tournament, we had Alpine pop off completely in their group, make it to playoffs, and start going up against the top tier teams. So both these guys have made names in the community tournaments. It's all about how they go moving forward into these big, giant RLCS stages.
And that's the big question, which is, it's fun. So one of the things that I won't say upset about, but I definitely took note of when we switched up formats was the RLCS. I was like, sweet, man. Now any team can come out with any team, and it's Swiss. So like, you never know who you're going to play later. But I'm the old fashioned, like, I like to sit there with the playbook, study my opponent, look at the league type format, and we still get that with the grid. So I think that's kind of fun watching, because I think they're two different skill sets. One where Spoodah's going to sit there behind Omelette and be like, all right, guys, you know, we have Alpine up next weekend. We got to work and study this. So for the plays that we see on the grid, I expect more team-specific preparation as opposed to the open-endedness of the RLCS.
I didn't even actually consider that. That's a fantastic point, because when you do consider the changes in RLCSX in the splits and everything, in the splits, you know, we got fall split, winter split, spring split, all of those, you don't really know who you're going to go up against. You can maybe prepare a little bit for a generalized idea of how you want to approach each team, but for the most part, you have no idea who you're going up against. But in the group stages like this in the grid, you're right, F-Thought, you can completely plan against how you want to approach that first team moving forward into the semifinals and then qualifying for the playoffs. So I actually love that point, and I'm curious to see, you know, if Alpine has been doing a little bit of that preparation, knowing they're going up against Omelette.
Yeah, I mean, this is where Coach Creamz kind of steps up and makes his money, so to speak, right? Like, because this is where it's always fun. I get a lot of questions a lot of the times how a coach kind of impacts the field.
It's huge.
One of the cool things about, you know, hanging out here on the Alpine stream is we're going to get a chance to talk to the players later on, whether it's the players or the coach or otherwise, right? We're going to talk to these guys, you know, right at the end of the day and be like, here's what's up. So we're going to get a lot of insight into the mind of Miztik and the team for sure. But this is really where you earn your coach bucks, where you prepare the team very differently, because playing Rocket League is playing Rocket League. But the meta game, not saying what car you pick, but the true meta game of like how you play the tournament structure or the game of the game is interesting. And like I said, that's where we got to see Creamz step up.
Well, I mean, and that speaks a lot to Rocket League in general. I think a lot of people and mostly the audience like to think it's a very on the day esport, which it is. It's very, you know, which team is hot today, which team isn't. and then you kind of can go from there. But there can be a lot of preparation into how you choose to play, because you can be super aggressive in one specific matchup and then completely pull that defensive line back even farther against another, and that can actually make a huge change. And that does come down a lot to the coach, because usually, at least from my experience as a player, you know, you're thinking about these things, but the most important thing in your mind is just how you're individually performing. So you don't really consider it on a broad perspective. But with the coach, like you said, F. coming in, playing a huge role, trying to prepare these boys up against Omelette, whoever they're up against in the semis, that can be a giant impact. And like we said, we get to talk to these players. You know, we can theorize what these guys are doing, but the cool thing about the grid is later on we can literally talk to these guys ourselves, figure out what their game plan is, you know, what they're going into this matchup with the mentality, and how they're viewing the next few stages in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm getting trolled here. I was calling Creamz the coach, because I was looking at Creamz' stats over here, and I was thinking Miztik when I was talking.
You disrespect Miztik like that, and you said Spoodah for a second, and I forgot Spoodah's an Omelette coach, so I was like,
yeah,
is Spoodah playing in this? What is?
No,
what?
He's an Omelette coach.
Oh my god, dude!
Which is just as nuts, though. I mean, like, that's still fun as heck. So, I mean,
I don't know how I'd feel having Spoodah as my coach, so I'm not gonna lie. That is, you know, I love the man. Because have you seen his tweets? The man is a wild card, okay? I don't know how I'd feel if I lost the Rocket League match and then I look on Twitter and Spoodah's tweeting out some meme about me. You know what I'm saying? Like that could get in my head. It's a little bit scary.
He was one of my first Rocket League follows. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my guy. I'm a Twitter troll. That's my guy. What can I say?
You're the Spoodah fanboy. That's what I can do.
All right, folks, so we're going to jump into game number 1 here. Like we said, it's us versus Omelette, and us. That's Alpine. That's us.
Oh, baby. You know, we are the home for Alpine right now, and I'm excited to get to talk to these guys, especially after they take the dub. This is the one instance where we can have caster bias, and I love it. But seriously, I think Alpine in this matchup alone have a lot of strength, and especially like we talked about, focusing on Majicbear in the midfield.
Yeah, he's known for his sort of ones play that you were talking about, and we're gonna look to him to be the guy.
Ooh.
I'm glad they got that bad bounce on that, because that looked way too easy.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit, it's getting panicky already. The first game, see, we hype up our boys, all right? And then now, this is what I talked about, they need to get that defense figured out. Omelette are always gonna be consistent on the offensive move. You gotta get that defense figured out.
But this is that slower pace that I think the Alpine guys kind of want to work around. Majicbear is a guy that is very careful. And I mean, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only seen one, you know, season of the rival series. So just like, you know, run over me if I'm tossing something.
Oh, no. Oh, speak of the man. Majicbear, let's go. The dunk we've been waiting to see. My boy Majicbear. As soon as this guy got this, my confidence in this team went up 10 points.
Look at that. And see, yo, that's exactly what I was going to talk about, man. Oh, thank you, Majicbear. Doing my job.
He heard you, bro. He's listening.
Bro, that, like, real talk, what I was going to say was Majicbear isn't one of these guys that shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots. He's very particular with the choices that he makes. That's what he did there. And like, that's why I expect the slower pace out of Alpine, because they're more particular with what they want to do here.
And a lot of teams will get caught into that style where you just want to shoot everything. And that is horrible because you lose possession so quickly, which is why I think Alpine have most of the foundation that makes up a great top-tier RLCS team, because they decide to, like you said, play that patient role. So that's definitely going to work and pay off here against Omelette, so long as they get in front of Luke, because he is so annoying on the pitch, man.
Yeah, what is it about Luke that everybody just gets so aggravated?
He creates problems like this. This all stemmed from Luke being aggressive in the corner. Look at him. He's getting in front of the ball and then making sure he takes the boost, sets up his teammates to then go for the passing plan. They can put a barrage of shots on net. That's what you got to tighten up on defense, is making sure when Luke's in front of you, you can beat him to that ball.
And that's dope, because it looks like Luke really knows his role there. I think a lot of players try to take it out of that corner and find the opportunities themselves, but he just leaves it up to the team, and that allows Freshness to kind of follow up. That was really cute.
Well, that's something really cute. Wow. You know what? I like it. I've never heard a passing play or a player been called cute before. We're making big moves in the scene of casting. But I was saying, man, like, whenever I was playing before, I always hated having to figure out what play style I'd have. I always wished I could be a player that was just annoying and aggressive and didn't have to care about anything else. And it's so rare when you find a player like Luke who already knows the way he wants to play the game.
Yeah, knowing your like I said, knowing your role is always like know your role, kid. But more like look, you got to know what you're good at, and finding your lane is probably a better way to put it. Is so important when you're coming to team sports in general, right? Like whether you're playing football or Rocket League, you got to understand like, all right, my job's on defense. I'm not gonna go run up and deal with the right wing. Like that's just not your job, dude. Like. And
it's really weird though because you don't even see positions in Rocket League, which is one of the cool things, that there are actual positions and different playstyles people can have, even though it all looks the same.
They wind up floating around. It's more like
hockey-ish.
I guess so it's more like basketball can be in the really abstract, but realistically, it's just that your position changes based on the position your teammates are playing at the moment. You all like are trading positions, right? What I found really cool about Rocket League was that it's a lot of like just filling the gaps and predicting what your teammates are going to do, which is why you see these established squads value synergy over pure like star power sometimes.
Right. Well, I mean, and speaking of star power, it feels like everybody right now on Alpine is a star on the field because nobody is taking that initiative role to be the aggressor. It seems like everybody's moving up together. Nobody is really trying to go for solo plays. And so far, what we've been seeing in game one, I really like the way that these guys are playing. It's been a bit of boomer ball the past few minutes, but overall, we've really started to break out of our own end.
Yeah, just kind of chilling and feeling out what the enemy wants to do. Don't forget, I mean, this is also... So we're playing best of fives until the later stages where we wind up with a best of seven. But whenever you're playing, series, downloading your opposition is just as important as anything else. So a lot of information gathered about where the enemy wants to play and how Omelette's going to be like looking to place the ball.
Right. It's always going to be difficult as well to get this first matchup over with because, like I said, I think this is probably the closest in terms of teams you could get to face each other, especially in round one. These guys are both on the up and coming. Definitely underdogs. If there's one underdog to pick, it's going to be one of these two teams, F.
Yeah, and at the same time, the underdogs aren't that far behind, which is really dope. Overtime here, which is good because I think that game wound up getting into just this, like you said, a little bit of boomer ball, just straight up stalemate. Nobody was really able to like break the bank, and an overtime like re-face off is sometimes good enough.
Woohoo! Luke, he's so annoying, dude. I don't want to play against this guy. I see him on the field. He is such a pain, but that's a big double commit from Alpine. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes the offensive pressure makes you cascade a little bit with your comms, the communication all over the place. Really frustrating first mistake here as they lose that first game. And so far, Omelette, big moves from them.
Yeah, I mean that one was well played by Omelette, but I think this was pretty even. If you're an Alpine fan at home, I don't think you got to be too upset about this. And this is again like Miztik, just kind of this is where you step in. You're like, all right, guys. I mean that really wasn't that terrible. Watch the double commit and be a little bit more communicative. From my perspective, it looked like this was real close.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean this is a solid first game going up against Omelette. And again, you got to get in front of Luke. I still feel like every time I watch this man play and Omelette get into a game, they are the ones who try to control the pitch on offense without a doubt. They don't really care what's happening on the defensive side. They just want to make sure they can play their game on offense. So was a little bit more prevalent there, but this is the time where you have the coach step in. You were talking about it. It's not Creamz, it's Miztik, okay? What is Miztik saying to his players right now?
First of all, I just need to stand up for myself because you always got to hit back. You always got to hit back.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of roasting in this. Look, you are not safe,
I introduced the team as Coach Miztik and Creamz. I didn't even mention Creamz. I just mentioned the three guys, and then I said Coach Miztik, and then I was like, all right, I was bored listening to you talk, so I was looking at the Creamz and Wikipedia page, and then I said Coach Creamz. That's what happened. That's what happened.
You were bored listening to me talk. Well, listen, I feel like we should challenge each other to a 1v1 because, as you know, you have how many hours in this game? Do you have so many hours in this game, right?
So
Can you inform us? How many hours in Rocket League?
I believe in something called the champion effect, where I can choose a champion.
Okay. Very popular opinion. Yes, I like this.
I'm kind of new to the scene. I don't really. I guess I could go with like I guess I could go with like Nose Dude or like Forky. Can I call Forky?
What did we
play my one?
I asked you how many hours you had in the game. Why are you talking about Nose Dude and Forky?
Because I'm trying to get somebody else to play the 1v1 for me.
What is happening? No, you got a 1v1, and I just need to know: are you the next up-and-coming RLCS pro player? Because you know you were talking some mad trash earlier.
I'll coach.
Okay, I'll coach. Okay.
I'll be the next up-and-coming.
But you're not gonna
RLCS.
pick up the sticks.
No, you know what? I think my playing days are behind me. I think I'm, you know, at this point, just gotta better use my 5-head. You know, earlier in the match we were talking about like, you know, knowing what you're good at and sticking to your role here.
Right.
I think you know the coach lane is just the one for me. That's kind of where I'm at.
I respect that because I think that a lot of people view coaches as people who wish they could play but they don't. But there are some individuals who can make it.
See, I those who can't teach is such a nothing phrase to me. Absolutely not. Sometimes you want to be that person, and this has nothing to do with the fact that they say those who can't play coach, those who can't coach cast. That's beside the point. All I'm saying is that some people would rather just be the supportive guy.
Let's just say I started casting before I retired. Okay, that way there's no confusion about what happened. But we just joined a game, but we're still having some connection issues. So we're gonna get right back into that as Alpine look to take back the series and tie it up 1-1. So far, that first game, I thought it did seem very, very close. We got into a little bit of boomer ball towards the end of the first half, but overall, I think that we played pretty solid. It was just the defense.
Yeah, when you go back and forth like that, you know, and you reach that state, I mean, it's indicative of both teams, right? You guys have both ascended to the point where like, all right, we're going back and forth, and it's worth noting that, you know, Alpine lost in the first couple of shots in overtime. Like all it was that like, okay, we broke the stale, and then all of a sudden it's kind of going the other direction. So, I mean, you mentioned defense. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you want to see more out of that?
Well, it's a tough thing as we get into this next game soon. It's a very difficult situation to process because you have to figure out where that most aggressive player is positioned and get in front of him. So you're not focusing on the ball, rather you're focusing on the positioning of that annoying player, which is kind of a weird thing to throw yourself around because you have to really just ignore all the hope for the ball and just try and stay glued to that player of loot.
Yeah, he's kind of watching it and trying to take advantage of that single-handed factor.
Wait, what? Wait. Did you? I'm confused. I don't think, does this count? I don't know what's happening, but either way, we're gonna give them the goal. Go ahead, just figure this matchup out here. I think that was just them testing the servers. We don't want to take.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I was confused as to why we were taking this seriously. I was like, this is the servers. There's no problem here. And you stopped talking and you threw it to me. I don't want to receive that.
I thought I was sitting here like, yo, who's paying Percy? Like who's paying Percy right now? And P.S. Percy, that's too obvious. If you're gonna throw the game, be more careful about it.
So first of all, you're gonna throw me under the bus, and you just stopped talking and then gave it to me, and then now you're blaming Percy for throwing.
Sometimes you gotta let the play speak for itself.
Wow, wise words. See, this is what I like to see. But we're gonna get that next game figured out. I think that we're just testing the waters, testing the service because we've had a big break. What is Miztik telling these players right now in that first game? I'm actually really curious, and this is something that is the best part about the grid. Like we talked about it multiple times. We can actually ask these players what is going through their head. In giant pauses like this, what are they talking about? What are they discussing to figure out, you know, the next point of action against this Omelette squad?
I mean, real talk, I think what you're doing right now with your guys is you are chilling. You are absolutely chilling. You are making sure everybody's loose and especially with the way game one went. If game one went,
and it was so close too.
Yeah, like if game one went horribly, that's a much different situation. But it was like we come out, if I'm coaching the team, we come out of that game and I'm like, all right, guys, you messed up at the end. Don't double commit. Remember that you're a better team than that.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. And then we move on. And here, I'm probably complaining about like this taking for a while, but like it's trying to keep the air light. That's my job as the coach at that point, is to just make sure, all right, dude, chill out, no problem. Whenever it comes, we'll do game two.
Yeah, it's definitely a different skill set from being a player and just focusing on the next game. And here we are in the second game, trying to see if we can put one in right away. So many shots back to back. hammering the net of Omelette. So far, I like what I'm seeing. Really good offensive attacks, good opportunities. Just haven't found that finish. And again, it's Luke. He is frustrating to play against, dude. This guy, I don't know what it is I have against him, but I just see these players going up against him on the field, and it makes me annoyed that this man is always in front of the ball.
Well, what I find interesting is that I see a couple of these shots where, like, you know, Luke goes to the double tap there, and there's no angle that becomes a like viable shot.
Yeah.
But he's still going for it.
Oh, he's still gunning for it. He doesn't care. He's not trying to score. He's just trying to waste time and just waste your boost.
Exactly. And as soon as people stop, like, I don't want to say stop falling for it because it's a better trick than that makes it out to sound. But, like, as soon as people kind of get wise to, like, the play style, I think that's when Luke has to find a different approach. But, I mean, it's working, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, we all have to focus on the counterattacks too, because whenever Luke does miss these opportunities like this in the corner, it's not exactly on point. You have to try and dodge that demo, or at least try and avoid putting yourself in a panic situation, because when you do waste boost trying to stop and counter out Luke, you're put in such a rough situation. So far, the boys have been doing pretty solid. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. I like what I'm seeing, but still, again, just need to deny him.
Finally, a little bit of back on our side here. This is a tough spot to really just wrestle off of your end of the court. We've just seen the ball almost zero possession here for Alpine. How do they break that egg, so to speak?
Well, I think everything starts right now in this situation for the little individual passes on defense to get things started. I think this, especially Rocket League, is a very momentum-based game. Once you start connecting a few passes in your own defensive area, you can kind of start to break out a bit more from there. So as long as they don't panic and just keep playing boomer ball and focus on finding a teammate, even when they're getting pressured so hard, that is how you build out and break out from an offensive trap like this.
Yeah, I see it a little bit more now, where once they were able to clear it on their side, Alpine was able to kind of coalesce and try and make something happen. This is an opportunity for Omelette. And they do it just like that. Nice job. And that's off of the back of control in the opposite direction, which I thought was really interesting, because it looked like Orange had good possession of the ball for mad long. And then Alpine finally wrestled it back. And then as soon as they get back in the hands of Omelette, they're able to convert.
Well, it's a frustrating situation, too, because Percy was in net, and you saw Majicbear rotating out, and you assume he can get a touch. And again, Freshness slams this one home. Looking for some midfield presence here. Nobody is waiting. And Luke, it's the double touches, the extra hit that he can do. That is where you got to get in his face, man. It's so difficult, especially off a kickoff.
Oh, man, that looked like that was a sick play. I want to ask here, not trying to roast or anything straight. Did Majicbear straight up miss that, or was he just faked out by that double touch?
I think it was definitely the double touch. Usually off of kickoffs, you don't expect anybody to have as much boost in the tank. So first of all, go for something like that. But here's a great play from Percy. This is what we needed, some kind of energy. The first goal. And it's a stylish one, too, from his own end.
Yeah, this is the just dribble down the field, take it on home, in transition. Oh, I love that.
That was clean. This is my favorite, too, because we can be a little bit biased because this is our boys. These are who we want to succeed right now in the grid. And it's plays like that with counterattacks. That's how you make it happen.
I mean, I'm just here having fun, and that was straight up fun. I gotta be real. I ride for Alpine, but I mean, if that type of play comes out of Luke or Freshness, I'll be just as excited. I just like good Rocket League, dog.
Unacceptable. I thought.
I just like good Rocket League.
This is a solo cast now. I don't even want to talk anymore, bro.
All right, you know what? I'm out. Peace.
It's okay. You know what? We're all here for good fun and good plays. And that's all we've seen. We really haven't seen a very poor quality goal get put in. Everything has been so mechanical between these two up-and-coming rosters.
That was almost an oops goal there, but no problem.
Oh, still stuck on defense, though. Look at us. We're getting trapped in a lot of these corners as well, where it feels like that midfield presence from Omelette still very too strong, and it's forcing us alone in our half. But that's kind of what we expected. I talked about how it had to be a defensive game for Alpine, and that's exactly what's happened so far. It's just been so passive and focusing on those 50s, like right there in front of the net.
Yeah, I thought that was going to go in. That was real good defense, just being able to predict where that secondary follow-up shot was going to wind up, because that was the dirty part.
Oh my goodness. Off the
Oh.
Oh, that's painful. He was even in position. The pass was just too fast.
Yeah, man. Oh man, you gotta be careful there. And that one, a little off the mark, right into the defender's zone.
Feels like our placement is just a tiny bit off, but either way,
This is a good.
this is the most offense we've seen out of Alpine so far.
And honestly, I don't think that it's still out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you.
Oh. As you say that, the last second goal. F-Dot, how are you gonna cast or curse our boys like that?
All right, you know what? Look at that. Like, what do you say there, man? What do you say? I don't.
It's just desperation, bro. You saw Alpine. Everybody forced themselves forward, trying to put one in, and yet they get caught off guard. Gonna have to focus on getting the reverse sweep now against, I'd say Omelette are probably rivals of Alpine in terms of where they're both coming from, and that's really just the underground scene of Rocket League.
I feel that. I absolutely feel that. And oof, I feel that one too. Another loss. This one, I mean, so that last goal was kind of, that happens. I'm not really going to town on Alpine.
Yeah, you can't get upset at that. Well, and especially because it was the last second. That's whenever we see a team most commonly try to push everything forward and just give it your last effort. You won't even be tilted at a goal like that usually as a player, so long as Miztik is in there kind of calming their heads a little bit. But this is where you start to plan a bit. You go for a reverse sweep, and this is where a playstyle shift has to happen, because so far what we saw, there's potential from our boys Alpine, but for the most part, it felt like, while yes, it was defensive, we weren't able to move through the midfield at all. We had barely any counterattack opportunities.
Yeah, I'm seeing flashes of greatness here and there, right?
Definitely.
Which is like
and that
the
Percy
team,
goal earlier.
Yeah, like the Percy goal was sick, and that's just sort of a one-off, and that's evidence of what happens when you drop the ball against us, right? Like all three of these players are capable of doing things like that, and that's really sick. But how do we bottle the energy that we had when we were able to play almost like half-court ball, right? There was a moment where we kind of just owned the offense, and it wasn't fast. A lot of times when teams own the offense, it's pop, 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 rebound after rebound. Here, it was controlled. How do we make that more often? How does that happen more often?
I mean, to find control like that, especially when you're starting to get a reverse sweep, I personally think you need to break out with a bit more confidence in those challenges. I just want to see them in front of it. There it is! The boys, Majicbear. Really good attack right away. You talked about getting control, F-Dot. And this is exactly what it was. It wasn't anything too complicated. Just putting classic shots on net, opening up some space. Majicbear's there for the cleanup. Yeah,
just exactly. I mean, that's classic Rocket League. Majicbear was where he needed to be to get that rebound into the shot. That was very fundamental Rocket League, and that's what you got to expect out of Alpine. I think is they just know how to take it and control with it. That right there, a lapse in the fundamental. The rotation from right to left there wasn't able to make that shot. So that's something that they know their play style. They can learn and fix. Freshness over the shoulder.
God, it's so frustrating to watch because Majicbear is coming back on that rotation, gets the full boost, but the clear got completely stuffed out. Luke, again, he is the player you need to watch out for. You see how far up position this man is. To go for a dunk like that is insane. We almost never see a player be that annoying and that confident with his challenges. And just to be able to stuff out a dunk, that is so tilting, dude. I feel for Majicbear.
Yeah, it was right past him, and that's I'm going to speak from, again, like the noob perspective, but it seems like on defense, Alpine need to spread the floor a little bit more. Like they seem to be missing these small corners.
Well, and Majicbear even there in that situation, it was a little bit panicked. He could have definitely taken the ball to himself and just gone for a dribble out of his own half, which I think would be rather effective, because lots of times if you're just going for an instant clear, Luke is in your face there to stuff it out. So if you can just force a 50 against him that goes a little bit more in your way, that's where you can maybe go for these counterattacks. Like right here in the midfield, great passing back and forth, Percy and Jordan. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
They're starting to build some momentum early.
Yeah, that again, like just smooth fundamentals, passing it up again, up from one player to the other to bring it upfield. That's the style that got me interested in them, watching them last season in the rival series, and I think what will befit them the best coming forward, both in the grid and RLCSX and otherwise. Like Embrace what you're good at, man. And it's this controlled, fundamental style play that really brings it home for them.
Oh, and Majicbear, though, being a little bit aggressive, trying to fill that role of getting in their faces and maybe counter that Luke playstyle with a bit of aggression from himself. Maybe I'd like to see that a little bit more here as he can push forward, do his thing with the offense. We know he has the dribbles. Look at the space getting opened up as well. Good plays overall, but F-Dot, what are you doing in this situation? You're getting back to the point where you're kind of stuck in your own corners. This situation is so difficult to break out of. It feels almost mental at this point.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of ball chasing, honestly. There again, we got out of our defensive end, but it was still like off of a double commit, and I have seen like maybe 1 or 2 missed opportunities. So I just want to see a little bit more space because everything else is rocking out here except for the space coverage. It feels like.
Good touches though on the backboard. I think that was Percy there waiting on the back line.
Oh no!
I get touched. What is this? Off the air, Luke. We was flying in, didn't have any boost. Why did he even go for that? Nobody knows. We don't have an answer. And now they don't get away with a goal. I mean, I guess it's fortunate that situation. That should have been punished.
Well, I mean, you know, I think annoying is the.
Oh, and what is this? Hello?
Okay.
This is the goal that we like to see, boys. This is quality. We take these.
I mean, we take those, whether it's quality.
My goodness.
Listen, no, we take it, baby. Listen. But what's fun is, again, these are really even matchups. And the reason we're down 2 games is because we've dropped goals like that. So you know what?
Yeah.
Give it back to me now. And the reverse sweep is on. Here we go, boys. Woo!
We believe, okay? The reverse sweep, 100% possible, especially when Omelette's just going to be handing us free goals like that. This is light work. This dub
easy.
In the bag. And look at the dribbling from Majicbear. This is what I like to see. The one's play, the fake, he almost gets them. Please, Majicbear, more of those. I like that.
Yeah, just keep it alive. And that type of energy will certainly work out, because that's what happens is you can play that sort of solo style when you have this controlled fundamentals, and it all kind of feeds into each other.
Oh my goodness!
Look,
the
just
touch
play
and
it slow.
recovery.
Yeah,
Majicbear passed out. There
Another
it is.
one. Yo,
Look at Majicbear, dude. You gotta pay attention to him. He came into that challenge and then pre-flipped to land under the ball. The one's skill right there. That's beautiful, because it doesn't look that fancy. But the fact that he kept control to bring it up the wall and toss that ball out and dish it to your teammate, that was finesse, absolute finesse.
Yeah, and that was again, teammate right in the right spot, understanding, you know, that their spacing needs to improve, and here it is. They make one adjustment with how well they're spacing the floor, and they're up 2 goals with a minute to go.
And this is the reverse sweep. This is the start, bro. We needed the momentum, F-Dot. You gave it to him. That yell, I'm feeling kind of energized from that yell, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm good because I'm out of energy now. That's it. That's all.
Well, I might need a little bit more later, but this, I didn't think that was going to go in, but I was a little bit scared where the third man was, thankfully. Close enough. And right now, we just need to hold off. 45 seconds left. A little bit of tough scenario. That's not a good 50, but what a save from Majicbear. Keeps it away. Just keeps stalling it out, F-Dot.
Percy's here, and honestly might even form another one, but 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh man, the 4th one would have been cute, but I think we're totally fine as is at 3-1. 20 seconds left, and that's our first dub here in the series. So
yeah,
I guess the real question here is, you know, how do you, what lessons do you take from this one, and how are we able to replicate what happened in this game?
Well, I mean, it just feels like Alpine are playing with a lot more confidence. Even at the end, you can see them going for demos. They have a little bit more space, a little bit more time on that rotation. They don't have to just panic the entire time to rush back, thinking that they're going to get scored on. There's a little bit more confidence in each other and their teammates to hold down the defense just a bit longer, to go for some extra boost. We saw Majicbear with some crazy ones plays earlier. A little bit of a fortunate mistake, too, on the side of Amma. But even then, with that mistake excluded, it's still a 2-1 game. So this is a confident win.
You know, and touch on this from sort of like a player perspective here, because Rocket League is very much a feel game. You got to warm up. You got to get your fingers underneath you. You got to really get in the groove here.
Yeah.
And the plays that we saw in this last one, we just simply didn't see in game 1 and game 2. Majicbear wasn't getting those really mechanical setups, or even the solo dribbles. I mean, does this team, you know, are we on now? Are we going to go to a game 4 confident, ready to go?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, at least if we can keep up this style, I think Omelette are going to bring the heat a little bit more in the next game. They got a little bit comfortable. You could tell on the defense with that, especially with that first mistake. And right off the bat, I think that it all comes down to who scores first next game. I think we'll see a game 4 so long as we can see Alpine with a strong start. This game started with a great kickoff goal, basically, that started with possession within the first 30 seconds. So we need to see something like that out of Alpine to continue the momentum forward and deny anybody from Omelette from getting confidence back.
Yeah, I want to see more of that control instead of looking for these straight up. Because when Jordan was able to take the transition and go for it, that was sick. But as long as we can kind of like lock it down here as we jump into game, I think it's much more befitting to the style that they're playing.
I mean, we expect those solo plays out of Majicbear too. We haven't seen too much out of LionBlaze, the other ones player on the pitch. And to talk about it, I mean, these guys both played in the tournament alone, the ones tournament, and I'm talking about ones when Jordan wants me to shut up and talk about threes because look at this passing play. Woo. That's clean. That's clean, baby.
Just lined up, and that was so a lot of the times, from my perspective, it seems that Rocket League plays are formed way in advance. You like set it up three touches prior because you have to get those rotations, the boost lines, and the shots. That one looked like more of a reaction to, oh look, they're clumped up on the left-hand side. We can push this in ourselves because we know where they're not at.
And I was talking about LionBlaze too, and look at this angle from the corner. The way he possessed that ball, kept it to himself, and then go for that shot. The third man was rotating just in time for Alpine. That's painful. But still, we did get the early momentum. The fact that we score within the first 18 seconds, I think is probably the most important part. It doesn't matter, whether or not they're able to tie it up. The fact that we could put one in early on, I think that's already.
I think it's the second most important part. I think the most important part is that you have also cursed the team, and that makes us 1-for-1 in that regard.
Yeah, see, I don't like this. You asked me if we're going to game 4. You can't be doing this to me, bro, because we're already in game 4. How are we going to go to game 4?
That's what I'm saying. You messed this up.
Dude, why? You are the one who messed this up. No, you said game 4 earlier.
I said we're going to game 4.
I heard you say. This is game 4. Are we gonna see a game 4? And then you're over here talking about it and confused me. I don't take responsibility for your fault. Bro, you set me up for that. Okay. I see how it is. I thought we were coming in here as friends.
I think you fell in the hole there, man. I think that was all you. Oh man.
I don't like this. I just accidentally muted myself too in Discord. Dude, what is going on? What is happening? Well, you have given me the curse of a lifetime, F-Dot, and I don't appreciate it.
It's a fiesta in here, but it's a fiesta on the field as well. I mean, that was the first bit of control we've seen. They were just bopping it back and forth, and then here it just kind of gets out of control, and Luke basically does to Majicbear what Majicbear does to people in ones. Yeah. Gets it with the what do you call that in Rocket League? Like the almost through the legs right there.
Wait, you talking about like a nutmeg kind of thing?
Yeah, you like nutmeg, man.
A little bit. Okay, I can see that. He basically just took it slow, which is pretty much a unique characteristic from that play that we don't see from Luke too much, is taking it slow. He's usually so fast on the ball, so the fact that he slowed it down, dodged the demo, threw Alpine off. But there we go. Speaking of demos, I like the aggression so far from Alpine trying to get this one back. And we are in game 4. I gotta remember, because
this is game 4.
You set me up for that. So.
You know what? I'll take it. Fine. It's me, the setter upper. I set him up.
The day I take responsibility.
2-1 is not scary enough for me to be concerned yet. I think there's a lot of time. This is a good team. Majicbear has been able to kind of keep it in control here. After that demo, though, that was a little bit of an issue, but we're going to keep it back on our side and just tie it up before 1:30. And we did. Thank you. I ask, I receive. It's the opposite of Caster's Curse. I get bonus points for that.
We needed a stroke of luck. And look at this play. Majicbear bumps, I believe, who is that, LionBlaze? On the defense to go into the ball, to get a touch, own goals it. We're back 2-2, 2 minutes left. Somehow, I thought you don't have the curse anymore, and you've just given all your bad vibes to me.
See, that's what I'm saying.
This is unacceptable.
Majicbear has it one more time. I'm just amped now because this is. It seems like Alpine's turned up.
Yeah.
They're like in the groove. They know what's going on, and
well, I mean, that's definitely a confidence boost. You see the other team own goal off of just a janky play. I think that's what's really going to give you some kind of level of happiness, because after that play against Luke as well, I'd be frustrated because they almost got the bump on Luke where he was taking it himself, and they just barely missed and grazed his car. So that's kind of payback in regards to Alpine.
Oh, this could be good. This could be good. Slows it down. No second opportunity. Oh, man.
Just Percy, he had the right idea. You saw him go for the placement on the far side. He just completely missed.
Yeah, it was rough, and that's, you know, you can't knock the players that was in transition. So they're even with all the boosts in the world, you're not catching up to that. That's kind of just a one shot, you know, mom spaghetti type situation. So you got to take it and run it.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah, one shot, one opportunity.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even connect the lines. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness,
I didn't hear the first part. I was just trying to zone you out like I normally do, but.
Oh, word. Okay.
Oh my, dude, the offense from Alpine starting to heat up. For 45 seconds left. I feel like we can start to force game 5. I wanna make sure I clarify that, because oh, off the backboard too, maybe something here. A double touch, not good enough. So close. Oh, but now we've got one player back on defense. The bump on Jordan. Good hustle to get back there.
Yeah, we're good here. 30 seconds left. Percy deals with Freshness. Gonna set up Majicbear. Percy's in position. Knock it off. Give him the shot. Gets the shot. And it goes in. Hot diggity damn. We're going to game 5, boys.
I didn't expect a slow play out of this pass. Majicbear. And then look at Percy. He doesn't even flip into it. Just waits for it. I think if he actually had gotten that perfect timing to get as much power, he might have hit into the defender there. And like you said, it looks like we're going to game 5. There's 21 seconds. You just got to hold it down. Hold the defensive line, F-Dot.
Yeah, we do have to hold. Last time there was a 2-goal differential, so it was a little bit more chill.
Oh, the flip
this time
the
around.
musty flip reset. Oh, my goodness. The confidence. The boys are feeling themselves. And no. Dude.
I gotta go.
We need a moment of silence for that musty flick attempt. And then now it gets turned around. I'm about to start shedding tears because this isn't the way we want to go out. 6 seconds left. We almost had the musty.
Chad, whose caster's curse was that Beer Turtle?
That was your fault, dude. You said we're going to game 5. Are you kidding me?
But then you were just
Are you kidding me? I had to talk about it because you already initiated that we're going to game 5. Do I just trust you with that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, but a big miss 50. Nobody there in the middle. We're going to get back into this because, look, I'm not going to cast the curses one more time. Alpine, they've been playing a lot better in these previous few games. Trying to get this reverse sweep. Going for a bump attempt as well. Good aggression. I like the physical plays we're seeing. Maybe we'll see a solo play from Majicbear that ends it.
Or maybe it's from Percy. Maybe it's... so close.
Oh, no, we're in a 1v1. No, not Luke. No, not Luke, please.
Easy. Okay. All right. The slow down one more time. It's a great look.
Oh, this is Majicbear's moment, though. This is what I'm talking about. Whenever he gets that ball in the air, he has so much potential to pull something mechanical off. And who missed that musty flick that was so close? I'm still sad about it. I think it was Jordan. Yeah, it was
Jordan.
The dominant.
Yeah, it was Jordan in the dominance.
That could have changed everything.
That would have been so sick. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, though, right?
Feels bad, man, indeed. But we do have at least hope here as overtime starts to extend. We almost got 2 minutes. So far, we haven't had any pressure throughout this overtime. Barely any chance. There's a double commit, but it works as a pinch. I don't know if it was planned. We're going to say it was.
Yeah, man. Look at the crazy team opportunity.
Yeah. But it worked wonders.
Yeah, we've had maybe 2 good looks, and Omelette's returned 1 or 2 as well. That's a decent toss, but we need to see more. What I worry about is teams that function off of like highly controlled play. Right. I worry about them kind of unraveling when things get, overtime or dire.
Well, I think that we do see a little bit of panic from Alpine when we do start to lose control, which is scary. But so far, especially with reads like that, look at Percy off the backward. That's such a difficult read to make, especially in the time that he was able to hit it. Almost like, 3 seconds to get up to that ball? Crazy.
Yeah.
So the defense is looking solid. We haven't seen too much panic play. And while we don't have a lot of control, I think that we're holding down the defense wonderfully.
Well, that was a nice soft touch, but players are out here getting boosts, so they weren't in position for it, which, it would have been a long shot convert, but you got to make sure you retain your resources. Middle of the field here, and Percy puts it in position, but again, teammate, this is not really nobody's really in control.
Right.
Even there, just a near miss.
Yeah. I mean, this is still trying to get the reverse sweep. If we can take this dub in this game, we'll have one more to go. Force to game 5. The caster curse won't exist no longer.
Oh man, I thought I thought that was gonna loop
Dude,
right, man. As soon as you brought up the possibility,
I would have been so emo. I don't even want to
I'm not bringing it up anymore. This is a, you know what? Just
oh,
another
the double commit, dude.
alive.
Is that another pinch? Do you see these double commits? But it's working. It's
So
somehow these pinches. It's nuts.
Yo, first time it's an accident. Second time it's obviously on purpose.
That's right, baby. Oh no, Luke, please stop this man from being in your. There we go. Good 50, Jordan.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. Get in front of Luke. Deny this man.
Oh, this is it. This is it. This is a set play. Oh, where's the teammate? Oh man, Orange got there just a little too quick. That was. Oh man, that was almost cute.
That's your go-to word today. Cute, man.
Yo, that's always it, bro.
All these clears have been cute, but nothing.
Not every single one.
What do we consider beautiful at this point? A goal, an overtime goal? Do we consider an overtime goal beautiful? Because I think that is what we're in store for. Almost.
Oh.
Getting that one in, that would have been so satisfying. And the position, the timing of everything would have been so nice, but it's okay.
No hate on the rest of the team, but Luke did everything in that last sequence. Everything there for Omelette was done by Luke. You got to tip your hat, right? Oh, man. All right. We're on our side again. Oh, LionBlaze gets it done. All right. You know what? Week 1, we're just shaking it up. You know, we're just giving people a little bit of a taste.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a slap in the face, but still, nonetheless, it was just a simple mistake. These are issues that we're seeing right now that are so easy to clean up. And this was such a close game, too, against Omelette, who is a team that you've got to respect. Almost had him there. Almost had that reverse sweep opportunity to force a game 5, but still, that's a tough series to lose, man.
Yeah, that one's tight. I mean, most of the games were lost, one goal or one sort of misplay here and there, and then the game that went in Alpine's direction was almost overwhelmingly so, right? Like two games in their direction. I mean, that was it was close. It was tough, but this is the type of play, you know, when we look at the grid, the opportunity here is this is where we get to improve, right? Like this is where we kind of grind it out against teams that we can look at the VOD and then approach one more time.
Yeah. Well, it did feel a little bit like Omelette was the kryptonite right now too. The play style that Alpine was going for. You talked about a lot, trying to go for that control play style. But against somebody like Luke, who's going to get in your face and be annoying, LionBlaze with the 50s, Freshness with the shooting, it's basically like you have to focus completely on your defense. And whenever Alpine didn't get that many chances to have that controlled game push forward, that's when things started to struggle a little bit. But either way, we had some great looks, some good opportunities, some solid goals. If that musty flick, dude, it was all down to that musty flick. I'm still upset about it. That was the game changer. Once he missed the musty flick, that's when everything changed.
It was so sick. You're not wrong. It was so close. It was man, so close yet so far. But we come up a little bit short. One win. At least you know what? At least we don't get wiped out. Can we? Let me take a look. Where are we over here? If we take a look at the rest of the field, hey, look. At least we're not. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, at least we're not as bad as the team that got 3-0'd, but that's energy.
Look,
I'm not gonna say that.
The funny thing is you talked about a casting curse, right? You talked about the casting curse, and you completely destroyed all of Sonic's confidence, everything that they had to do with being happy about Rocket League. You destroyed their entire careers, and then they 3-0 NRG. So that's something that happened. They moved down to the lower bracket.
What's
Alpine,
going on here, man? I mean, and the Sonics are a good team, but like energy is energy, dude.
I think the SSG matchup was a little bit expected, but everything else, I mean, the Peeps even bring it to a game 5. United took the dub. This seems almost backwards at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely seems backwards in our part of the bracket. Like, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
You know.
100%. Oh, I completely agree. But I mean, in terms of where we're going down to the lower bracket now, we will continue to go on to face Pittsburgh Knights, which I think will be a better matchup for playstyle wise. I think sometimes the Pittsburgh Knights can be like that annoying, aggressive playstyle that we hated out of Luke, because that's the reason I feel like why we were able to take that L. But so long as we don't have Luke on the other team, I think it's a dub.
Okay, yeah. We got a couple of what is it, Rodoko, Kinsey, and ZPS over here. Oh,
Yeah,
and
it's a
Coach
newly
McClan-
formed Knights. Yeah, it's a completely different roster, which I'm actually really excited to see.
Yeah, and Coach McLando, you know, that's the true caster to coach, right? Like,
Oh, baby.
you got to embrace that. So
It'll be a tough one. I'm still thinking about the Musty Flick, man. That is gonna haunt me in my nightmares. I think that I'm gonna see that Musty Flick again, slow motion every single time, dude. He had the flick, it just didn't kind of like pop out. And if he just, oh my god, dude, I'm upset.
Turtle's gonna talk about this almost Musty for the next.
It would have
like,
changed
5 minutes.
everything. We would have had a game
We're
5.
gonna
I
cut to
wouldn't have
break.
messed up earlier.
We'll be right back with the lower bracket game after this.